Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a quick post about the upcoming due date of March 18th with a couple key things going on this week and then just continuing to look ahead. So we have opened up Module 3, weeks 9 through 13, and if you open up week 9, you'll see we're getting into painting, which is, some of you may say, about time, but exploring a lot of mixed media through that as well. We're also going to be talking, a lot about the Renaissance. Just following the Renaissance, we're thinking about this very specific push towards the dramatic in the images, some very deep shadows and some very theatrical kinds of settings. So within that you'll have your regular weekly questions that are due, and then you'll be working on your museum. This is something we've been talking about more in depth for those of you who are able to make the meeting. I really appreciate your questions and your attention in the matter, but I encourage you to read through this long, pretty extended assignment and look at this video of some of my research. Then hit me up with more questions if you have anything that you're puzzled on or you're stuck on. What's also due is your Museum of Me Part 2 response post. So I've linked this as well in week 9, so you can go back and look at 2 of your classmates' posts, give them critical feedback on which gallery you found most interesting and why, and give them some actual helpful hints on things that maybe didn't fit or things that you could imagine fitting into it, ways they can expand. Afterwards, you guys are going to be looking forward to the next deadline of April 8th as your local global museum paper discussion is due. This is something we can play around with and see if you guys have enough flexibility to get to a gallery and visit some place in person. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples of places that have exhibits going on through the end of March. So that might not be entirely applicable, but things will be transitioning out, and then we'll have a little bit more of a narrow window here. So at the Jan Brandt Gallery, she's featuring an exhibition called Two-Gether, T-W-O, Together, a group exhibition that is all collaborative works. Here's 4 examples of these collaborations. Listed below are the 2 individuals that collaborated on this piece. In the case of this work here, it's a married couple. In the case of this work here, it's 2 artists, young and old, working together. In this case here, it's 2 artists that have identify in very different ways, and the whole gallery is filled with these really diverse collections of pieces that you guys might find both challenging, interesting, and humorous in many ways. At the Normal Public Library, they have a small sitting space that they feature local artists routinely. This exhibition of Sheila Asbell Allen's small paintings will be up through the end of March as well. Her work really focuses on the figure, but more than the figure, these abstractions of formal design. So how the figure curves and flows and moves with these other very simplistic elements within that space. I have selected this one piece here to highlight because I think it, from what I know of her work, it really starts pushing into something that's getting this overlapping, this glowing activity, this strong use of color. She creates these very methodical painted backgrounds with color pencil on top of them, and then clear coats them so they have a nice sheen to it. It's a real vibrant color, but this idea of this couple holding up the moon is a very dynamic kind of composition. So we can really talk about how these pieces create so much movement, and we can talk about how the content is very engaging and how loving and how nurturing a lot of her imagery is. The final gallery that I'll promote is the McLean County Arts Center in Bloomington. This space is currently featuring the 92nd Annual McLean County Amateur Art Exhibition, which features a huge variety of works from high school, college, and adult categories, where we're getting a really strong sense of what's going on, not only in the younger population, but in a very clear academic setting and beyond. So this has a huge variety of pieces, and then in 2 other galleries you're getting a collection of professional artists' works, Mary F. Coates, Andrea Ferrigno, and Mariko Brown Harkin, who show in a small space but have really vibrant works in that space. And then a recent move to Bloomington, Swati has a collection of both watercolors and paintings in various styles that reference her landscapes that were home in South India and mindscapes that are current paintings that feature strong design, repetition, patterned elements akin to miniature paintings. And finally, in your Museum of Me Part 2, I have replied to you guys in the direct reply to your discussion posts. So I will be just like a student in my replies to you, except I'm really trying to guide you into maybe some common threads that tie your 3 galleries together, or adding in another element to be able to start pinpointing a little bit deeper, a narrow focus that you can create a more cohesive writing about, as well as a more cohesive group of images. That doesn't mean they all need to look the same. That just means that they need to be linked together in some way, shape, or form that you can identify through the writing. So in that way, if you guys, I'm posing questions, so if you guys want to keep in touch, I'd love to do that via email. And then you will be responsible for looking at a couple of your, just as you see in the, as we talked about before, you'll be responsible for posting it to your classmates' posts, and a couple of you have posted already, and those are really, really great ways of talking about, great examples of how you can talk about each other's work in critical ways. So don't be afraid to just dive right into what you like and what you don't like, and get very real with people, and hopefully we can really generate some nice galleries through a little deeper discussion of what we're seeing. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good week. I know it's another push before spring break, but I'm hoping you can really make a really valiant effort at getting some of the museum section of the local global gallery museum project due. Talk to you soon.